As you know, we have a very special guest in studio today. He's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. You know him from Loveline, Dr. Drew on Call, and Celebrity Rehab. He's my dear friend. Welcome, Dr. Drew Pinsky.
Yes. Pleasure to be here, guys.
And this is exciting.
Although you traumatized me with those pictures. But
well, this is important because a lot of our viewers at home, you guys love Dr. Drew, his advice on addiction and relationships. But today we're focusing on relationship.
Okay.
We've asked our viewers to send in their love-related questions for a segment we're calling Dear DBL with Dr. Drew. So let's get started. Al, let's take the first one.
All right. It says, wanting more in St. Louis. My bedroom life with my girlfriend sucks. And we're only in the first year of our relationship, 3 times a week if I'm lucky. Am I the bad guy for wanting to break up with her over this?
okay. Well, mismatched sexual desire is a very common thing. 3 times a week. Above average, by the way, not bad. I saw Toy and Sam do a little bit of like, what the hell here? How much this guy want? But that is mismatched sexual desire.
That's
Normal
above average?
Well, what about it being the first
above
year?
Average in a long-term relationship is about 1.5 to 2 times a week. Average.
But what about a new relationship?
We just learned
like
something
this?
about Al, too. Just like that.
It's not twice a day and one a day.
Right, and some people are at that rate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And people have to reach a compromise. See, we just learned something about Jeff.
Twice a day is not a day? How do you get anything done?
There's this thing called morning and night, Jeff.
Yeah, it's called sleep.
A lot is revealed just in answering these questions. But it's about compromising, and you have to be able to tell her that this is not your rate, and you have to step it up. And, there may be things contributing to that. We don't think about this. One of the things that I see mostly commonly in young couples, when a female sexual desire is not matching a man, she may be on a high progesterone birth control pill, and that suppresses their libido. And doctors don't tell them about that. So take a look at your birth control, and the progesterones can really be working against this.
That's
amazing.
Wow.
This guy.
I know. He's like a fountain of knowledge. Ellie Mae writes, I'm in a marriage when my husband gambles compulsively and frequents gentlemen's clubs. After 34 years of marriage, we are drowning in debt.
Oh, boy.
Should I walk out? This is Ellie Mae.
So Ellie Mae, this is for real. Ellie Mae, like from the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Bert, that was for you. This is a tragedy. And this is a great example of how real gambling addiction, when you really see it, it destroys lives. There may be some sexual addiction in here too. He's going to gentlemen clubs. You have to decide if you're going to leave or not. I would for sure go to a program called Al-Anon, which is for support for those and loved ones with addictions of various types. There are specific ones for gambling and sex addicts, but Al-Anon's easier to find. And then think about what you want to do with this. But absolutely, he gets treatment or you leave is a very reasonable position to be in.
Wow, that's good to hear.
Sad.
Ruth in Louisville writes, I'm dating someone going through a divorce. We both feel strongly about each other, but she's not ready for a relationship right now, yet we both can't stop seeing each other, and it feels more like a rebound. Is our timing setting us up to fail?
But I got to finish something on that last question, too. He goes to gamblers, like GA, Gamblers Anonymous, or SLA, Sex and Love Addicts, S Addicts Anonymous, Sex Addicts Anonymous. Back to this one. This is Trevor, right? Is that him? No, it's not. No? Yes, Trevor?
No, this is
Ruth. When somebody's going through a divorce, you don't want to get hooked into a long-term relationship. You want to wait till that's all over with and behind them. You just don't. You're more of a life preserver when somebody is going through that kind of a horrible crisis in their life. So we need a lot more information to kind of tease it out for you. But
could it work out?
It could, but I got bad feelings about this.
Whoa,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's you, Jeff. It's your turn.
Trevor and
I just read Ruth.
I'll read Trevor in Tampa.
Geez.
Trevor in Tampa says, my girlfriend gets mad at me.
Drew, I handle my business up there.
I love it. For not posting pictures of us together on social media. I like to post about my hobbies, not relationship, but she thinks I'm hiding her. Who is in the wrong here?
That's a relatable one.
It is a relatable one, and you, sir, need to step up because she's letting you know something very simple that could make her very happy. And why wouldn't you do that if you know it's something that really would help somebody or make her feel good? And she's somebody you say you love. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Amen.
Wow.
Drew, quickly, what's wrong with our diffunctional family?
Yeah, what's wrong here?
I'm mostly worried about you and Sam, Jeff. That's where I see the trouble. Everyone else, everyone else doing pretty good.
I don't know about that?
I'm normal.
All right.
Everybody says I'm the most normal one.
We heard a little bit. You're above normal in certain areas, Al.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Oh, with Dr. Drew. Let's get
That's a nice
started.
ring to it. Let's do it.
Yep. Do you want to read the first one out?
Sure, I'll read the first one. It says, I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. We live together and we pay bills together. But he has yet to pop the question. I bring marriage up casually and he brushes it off. I wonder who this is. Saying we don't need labels on our love. Is this a deal breaker?
Oh my God, there's so much packed into that question. I almost don't know where to start. First of all, they're commingling their finances before they got married. No good. That's no bueno. Number one, millennials these days are saying a lot of, they speak a lot of empty shibboleths, like marriage is just a piece of paper. The Constitution is just a piece of paper. Are you freaking kidding me? Marriage is a serious commitment. It's a contract, and it's here for a reason. People had to fight for that privilege recently, I'll remind you.
Yep.
So take it very seriously. Now, this guy has no intentions of getting married. You got to wake up to that. I'm in favor of women giving men a clock. My wife did that to me.
Kelly Schubert is excited about that.
And it got me off my butt. You know, got me thinking, and we languish. You know what I mean? We just
TikTok.
Did you put a number on that clock? Because
for my wife, she said 1 year after we started living together, you have 1 year to figure this out. And I took it right to about exactly 1 year. Wow. and then I feel like an idiot because it's been a glorious wet marriage.
Yeah.
All right.
Couldn't have done it sooner.
Yeah.
Eric, you want to get the next question?
Sure. Our next viewer writes, this guy I've dated for 3 months just told me he has an STD.
Uh-oh.
He says he waited to tell me because he really likes me and didn't want to blow his chances. And it's also why he always makes sure to be safe. Is this a red flag to end things? From Freaking Out in Buffalo.
Now, I'm interpreting from what she said that they were already having intimate contact.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got.
Yeah, I hear that too. It's so weird that he would wait this long. I would urge him, anyone else with information like that, to come out at the beginning and to explain that you can usually prevent transmission of these things pretty easily with use of condom and antiviral medication, or perhaps pre-exposure prophylaxis, depending on what the STD is. Again, there's a lot to be done with these chronic STDs, so I'm a little concerned about the guy not telling you. You're already way in with him. I don't think it should be
Dr.
red
Drew?
flag, but not a deal breaker.
Okay.
can I just say, like, I'm watching the monitor and Dr. Drew answer that question, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching TV at home, and then you're right there.
Get the next one, Jeff.
All right, this question is from Devin. She writes, I'm in a relationship going on 2.5 years. I have started to feel like I'm staying in the relationship because of convenience. Is there something wrong with maintaining a relationship you know isn't going anywhere because it's not a good time to break up?
It's never a good time to break up. That's always painful. It's always difficult. I mean, it's like, there's never a good time to be born, never a good time to die. There's never a good time for very difficult, painful things. This is up to you. We can't answer that one. You have to make that determination for yourself. How long you're going to languish before you have to cut bait.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is the last question, Dr. Drew. It comes from Amy. I've been single for over a year after being cheated on in my past relationship of 6 years. I'm not into dating apps, as most of the men on them want something more than a date from me. Any advice on how to find a decent man?
When is that segment going to air that I did with the woman that's asking essentially this question? We sit down with somebody. Can I tell them to get promoted? Sure. Is it today?
Yeah.
It's today. I sit down with somebody today on this hour, or we?
No, it'll air next week.
Next week. Okay, next week it'll air. So thank you for all the info. Are we on TV? Is that you're with me? You're watching me on TV. I don't even know I'm on TV.
This is how it's done.
So I sit down with someone and really we get in deep on that very question. So it takes a little more than just simple answers. Little nuance. I'd ask you to tune into that episode.
Oh man, that's a good tease, Dr. Drew.
Thank you.
He's a pro.
Dear DBL with Dr. Drew. Let's get started. This is very special.
I love this.
All right, I'll kick it off here. Word in Washington writes, at what point are casual hookups on apps an addiction? My friend is having anonymous sex 7 days a week. The quote-unquote friend.
Yeah.
Everybody's friend.
Well put. Well, if I were speaking to said friend, I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
But all kidding aside, the way we assess addiction is by consequences more than anything else. If somebody truly has lost control over behavior or substance use, the hallmark is progressive use or progressive behaviors in the face of adverse consequence, and then repeated attempts to try to stop and inability to do so. That's when you need help. And this sounds like somebody who may need some help. Lots of 12-step programs out there. You can go right now and avail yourself of SA or SLA, and of course there are treatment programs available as well.
Wow.
It's like relatively, it's becoming an increasingly common problem.
A concerned spouse says, should I confront my husband regarding the amount of exes he follows on Instagram and Facebook? I feel like this is micro-cheating.
Ooh, micro-cheating, a new term. I like that.
Trendy.
Yeah, this is micro verging on macro cheating. I don't know what he's up to here. Do you guys help me with this? It's a little weird, isn't it? As a man, it's like,
I mean, my wife would get mad if I did
Mine
that,
would too,
know,
and I would expect her to, and I would think I was hurting her. That's why I wouldn't do that. So I don't know.
My question would be, what is the benefit of that?
Yeah,
if you know your wife is going to get mad, why do you still need to do that?
So he's sort of stalking his exes. I don't know what he thinks he's getting out of it. You have every reason to be upset. We would expect our significant others to be upset. Would you be upset, Erica?
If there was a lot of exes, if it was like one from like high school or something, I don't see a big deal.
Right.
Exactly.
This is a lot of them.
Yeah, Man Mill on Twitter says, been with my partner for 18 years. I'm bored with sex. Same old, including floor play. Not floor play, foreplay, sorry. Maybe try floor play.
Floor play.
We have switched up places to do it over the years and watched adult films together. But how can I freshen things up? I'm the female in the relationship.
Okay, so there's two things that sort of step out for me here. It might be her libido. Again, one of the things that people don't do enough of is assessing their biological circumstance if they're starting to be less interested in sex. As I've stated many times throughout the years, high progesterone containing birth control pills. Doctors don't tell you about that. Antidepressant medication. Menopause. Testosterone's got to be replaced if you're going to start having and feeling like you want to have sex again. So these things need to be looked at immediately. And then one thing to the male partner, and this is something that we all are guilty of, gentlemen, which is we sort of get into the zone that we like, and that's what we like.
Right.
Women got to change it up all the time. If you're not changing it up, your partner is going to start to feel a little bit. Jeff, you feel me on this one?
Good advice.
Yeah,
Like
you got.
Sometimes you just get it done. And another time,
but we
after it.
we tend to get.
He's going to see right through me anyway.
No, but listen, we tend to get everything into the zone we like, and that's what we like. It doesn't get better than that. She's not thinking the same thing.
Good advice, and my wife says thank you.
All right.
I say thank you because you're happier. Let's be honest.
All right, can I go now? Darcy in Phoenix says, I caught my fiance on Tinder. We're supposed to get married in 6 months.
Oh, boy.
Hey, part of me wants to expose him in the most dramatic way possible in front of friends and family. Please tell me I'm not overreacting, Dr. Drew.
You are not overreacting in the sense that this is a really serious matter. Maybe some pre-nuptial counseling is in order here because this is pretty serious. I mean, if he is actually, it's one thing if he's just sort of amusing himself on Twitter, on Tinder rather, but I doubt that. It sounds like a pretty serious cheating situation. Erica, you got a puss. What's going on here?
Oh, girl, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Is it deal breaker terrible?
Well,
It's verging on it.
Here's the thing. The marriage hasn't even started, and he isn't happy now. What makes you think he's going to be happy later?
Well, it's like getting into business with somebody. If you think that the way they're treating you now is an exception, it's going to be the same and worse down the road. And in relationships, it's the same thing.
Can you be casual on Tinder, just like you just said, like you're just interested in browsing? Is that a thing?
I
don't think so.
I'm an old dude, so I've never been involved with it. I don't understand really how people might use it. It does not seem like a place that people just hang out.
You could be casual, but it's generally followed by sex.
Yeah, it's with
There's
intent.
no way.
With intent. It's like
I was before that time too when I started my wife, and if I had a Tinder account, my marriage would be over.
use of a violent weapon with intent.
Yes.
With intent.
All right.